At the White House, President Trump ousts his chief of staff, replacing him with a retired four-star general. Can the new faces in the West Wing rescue the president's agenda? Breaking news, the massive fire at an outdoor music festival. More than 20,000 people forced to evacuate. The pictures coming in as we come on the air. Also breaking tonight, the major terror bust involving a plot to take down a commercial airliner. What we're learning tonight. Front door bomb. Tonight, the new video. The mysterious package on the doorstep, exploding and critically injuring the man who opened it. Border outrage. Reaction to the ABC News investigation. The encounter between a Mexican teen and two border officers that left the teen dead. Members of Congress speaking out. And dangerous dosage. The urgent warning about using medicine to make children sleepy. The consequences could be deadly.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Tom Llamas, and we begin with that shakeup at the White House. Chief of Staff Reince Priebus is out, replaced by Homeland Security Chief John Kelly, a retired four-star Marine general. Priebus seen getting into an SUV as he left the White House, ending a rocky 6 months on the job. He joins an already long list of departures. Take a look. Press Secretary Sean Spicer last week. Before that, a communications director, an FBI director, a deputy chief of staff, and a national security advisor. So does President Trump finally have the staff he needs to tackle his big promises on health care, tax reform, and infrastructure? ABC's David Wright starts us off from the White House.
President Trump erupted at his own party today, taunting Republican senators as total quitters unless they vote again on health care reform. Earlier today, he insisted they look like fools and are just wasting time. Trump is still fuming over the Senate's failure to pass its version of an Obamacare repeal, a signature campaign promise killed off with a thumbs down from Senator John McCain.
Boy, oh boy. They've been working on that one for 7 years. Can you believe that? The swamp.
The president's tirade comes as his White House struggles to regroup after that shakeup. The new chief of staff, set to start Monday, the old one left last night in the rain.
Hitting a reset button is a good thing, and the president did that, and so I think he's happy.
Speaking to Fox News, Reince Priebus refused to comment on the infighting among White House staff, including those especially harsh words about him from the new White House communications director.
I'm not going to get into that subject. It's getting in the mud, and I think the palace intrigue stuff is annoying, and I think it's a distraction. It takes away from the president's agenda.
Today in the West Wing, a glimpse of outgoing Press Secretary Sean Spicer, still helping out during the transition. As the administration regroups, one big question is who will take over as Secretary of Homeland Security when General John Kelly becomes Chief of Staff. ABC News has learned some senior White House aides are urging the president to move Attorney General Jeff Sessions over to that role. But some Republicans are already pushing back on that. Today, Senator Lindsey Graham tweeted, DHS Secretary Jeff Sessions doesn't sound right, doesn't feel right. Bad idea.
Lindsey Graham with some advice for the president there. David Wright joins us from the White House. And David, this shakeup comes at a time when the president is struggling to repeal and replace Obamacare, and tax reform and infrastructure plans are still on his horizon.
That's right. And heading into the August recess, 6 months into his term, he has exactly 0 big legislative accomplishments to boast about. And in losing Priebus, he's lost one of the last strong links to the institutional GOP, somebody who can reach out and play peacemaker. And all of that does not bode well, Tom.
David Wright starting us off tonight. David, thank you. And tomorrow morning on This Week, a big show, a complete wrap-up of the White House shakeup, the collapse of health care reform, and all the week's top headlines. Be sure and tune in. We want to turn now to some breaking news coming in from Australia at this hour. Arrests in a possible terror plot. The Australian Prime Minister says the plot was to bring down an airplane. ABC's Jennifer Eccleston is in London with what we're learning. Jennifer.
That's right. Well, we are learning chilling new details tonight about 4 men arrested Saturday in Australia as part of a terrorism operation. Late tonight, the Prime Minister saying the 4 were plotting to bring down a plane. Australia's federal police believe the plot was Islamist-inspired. They were arrested in Sydney during raids earlier today. Right now, we know additional security measures are in place at airports across the country. Transport security officials telling ABC News that screening will now take longer. All of those added security measures going into place as this counter-terror operation continues. And at this hour, the national terror alert level remains at high. Details are still coming in. We will continue to follow this very important story. Tom?
Jennifer Eccleston with that breaking news out of Australia. Jennifer, thank you. Next tonight, the first images of North Korea's ominous new missile launch. A rare nighttime launch that traveled higher, farther, and longer than any of its earlier attempts. Now potentially able to strike deep into the U.S., including Chicago and New York. ABC's Gloria Riviera on the growing threat and what options the U.S. might have.
Blast off in the dead of night. These new images show North Korea's latest and most alarmingly successful missile launch.
We think that these missiles could now reach the center of the United States, Los Angeles, Chicago, maybe even as far as New York and Washington.
North Korea claims it can now make a surprise launch at any time, in any place, proving the whole U.S. mainland is in the firing range. This latest missile shot 2,300 miles into space, landing in the Sea of Japan. But North Korea can angle that trajectory to extend the reach dramatically. This latest test did not demonstrate whether North Korea can successfully arm the warhead with a nuclear missile, but
revised U.S. defense intelligence estimates now say that the North Koreans could have a nuclear missile-capable warhead within a year.
After the president conferred with his national security team, the White House released a statement warning the United States will take all necessary steps to ensure the security of the American homeland and protect our allies in the region. Already, the U.S. and South Korea conducted military exercises near North Korea. But with diplomatic negotiations stalled since 2009, further options are limited. Any military action could prompt a catastrophic response from North Korea, an acute concern with some 82,000 U.S. troops in the region.
South Korea's president is asking the U.S. and the UN to consider tougher sanctions against North Korea. The regime's leader is vowing more tests to come. Tom?
Gloria Riviera with that latest missile launch. Gloria, thank you. Next to the mysterious package left on a doorstep, exploding and critically injuring the elderly man who opened it. Neighbors rushed to his side with wet towels to cover his burns. Tonight, he remains in the hospital as federal investigators join the hunt for whoever sent it. ABC's Adrian Bankert with the explosion in Queens, New York.
Tonight, the FBI and other agencies on the hunt for who put a bomb disguised as a package on this porch, waiting days before exploding.
The explosion happened outside the residence.
Cell phone video shows the building's landlord knocked to the ground just after opening the package. This moments after he was consumed by flames.
We have a person burned at this location. Send EMS.
I saw a man laying in the grass. He was actually on his knees and he was on fire. He was screaming out in pain. A lot of pain because he was engulfed. The flames engulfed his whole top half.
Investigators examining this cylinder, seen in this image, possibly filled with gunpowder. Neighbors in the Queens, New York community stunned.
I heard boom, this big explosion. I thought it was an accident.
The family who lives here say they saw the package, but since it wasn't addressed to them, left it outside.
God forbid if we took it inside the house, that it would have been much worse.
The 73-year-old now in critical condition with second and third degree burns over most of his body.
Investigators are testing the residue found from the blast at that home. They say there was not shrapnel inside that bomb, but the family members tell us the package could have been waiting on their doorstep for as long as a week. Tom?
Adrian Bankert with that strange case out of New York. All right, Adrian, thank you. Next to the safety investigation, the Austin Police Department has taken its entire fleet of Ford SUVs off the streets. We're talking about more than 400 of those vehicles after officers reported getting sick from carbon monoxide fumes. The California officer in this patrol car, take a look, claiming that carbon monoxide fumes may have caused his accident. And now government safety regulators are looking at Ford Explorers going back to 2011. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez explains.
Tonight, the Austin Police Department pulling their entire fleet of nearly 400 Ford Explorer SUVs from the streets. Concerned about possible carbon monoxide fumes they say have sickened more than 60 officers there and created dangerous situations like this.
I had absolutely no clue what was happening.
Former Newport Beach, California officer Brian McDowell now suing Ford, saying he believes he blacked out behind the wheel of this Ford Explorer because of an exhaust leak.
I began to get a severe headache and began to feel nauseous.
Officers in at least 4 states reporting similar symptoms. Ford saying their investigation is ongoing, but they believe the problem may be coming from modifications made by police departments when installing equipment in the vehicles. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is expanding its investigation of all model year 2011 to 2017 Ford Explorers. They've now gotten nearly 800 complaints, many from regular Ford customers reporting suspicious odors. The company assuring drivers those instances are unrelated to the carbon monoxide described by some police departments.
If you are the driver of a non-police Ford Explorer, there's no reason to be concerned.
And the company is now offering to cover the costs of fixing the problem in all police Ford Explorers. Tom?
Marcy Gonzalez for us. Marcy, thank you. Next to the reactions pouring in tonight to that video obtained exclusively by ABC News shown on 2020 last night. It shows 2 officers at the border allowing a 16-year-old Mexican teen to drink a suspicious substance, which turned out to be a highly concentrated form of methamphetamine, which eventually killed him. The official report initially called it an accident and described only one voluntary drink. But take a listen to this reporting from our chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross.
The 2 officers encourage or at least permit the young man to drink it.
Cruz now points at the bottle and she's saying, okay, drink it. And she makes the gesture that we associate with to drink. Now watch the male agent. He says, drink another one. You see them exchanging glances and smiles.
Then it happens again.
2 more sips.
4 drinks in all. Within a half hour, the drugs take effect. The teenager can barely stand. A massive overdose with symptoms like a heart attack.
So tonight, because of that video and Brian's reporting strong reaction and outrage, the ranking member of the House Immigration Subcommittee, Zoe Lofgren, saying this teenage boy did not deserve a death sentence. Congressman Adriano Espaillat saying the incident shows that U.S. Customs officers should be required to wear body cameras, saying it is critical that we hold officers accountable. This incident happened back in 2013. The officers involved in it have not been fired or disciplined. Next to the dangerous storms and flooding across the east, tens of millions of people in their path, a state of emergency for parts of West Virginia, water rescues in western Pennsylvania as well, and overflowing creeks in Maryland and Washington, D.C. More rain falling there today before the front moves out. Now, an urgent warning we want to tell you about for parents about a dangerous practice that some health officials say is becoming more and more common, giving children antihistamines and other medicines to make them sleepy. Some are becoming ill, even dying from overdoses. Here's ABC's Eva Pilgrim.
Tonight, growing concern over infant deaths blamed on Benadryl. Police say a lethal dose killed 4-month-old Adam Siegel.
When we had found out that it was in his system, I was in complete shock.
Police say the baby died in March at Carol Cardillo's unlicensed home daycare after getting an overdose of Benadryl.
We were completely betrayed. We couldn't believe that someone we had trusted with the care of our son would do something like that.
Siegel, the latest infant to die after being given the drug. In Ohio, this mom was charged with involuntary manslaughter after her 3-month-old died in March from a suspected overdose. And just this week, a Columbus babysitter pleaded guilty to killing 8-month-old Haddock Smolke after giving him Benadryl to sleep.
It should never, ever be used as a sleep aid. This is not a sleep aid. This is not indicated as a sleep aid.
The FDA does not recommend giving Benadryl to children younger than 2 because of the potentially life-threatening risks. Even for those older than 2, medical professionals say it needs to be appropriately dosed based on the child's size.
Parents think, well, it's safe because it's not a prescription. That's not the case. These drugs can be very dangerous.
As for little Adam Siegel's case, the daycare owner rejected a plea deal this week. Her case is now expected to go to trial sometime after November 1st. Tom?
Eva Pilgrim with this important report tonight. All right, Eva, thank you. Much more still ahead on World News Tonight this Saturday. The incredible images coming in from Barcelona, the massive fire breaking out at a music festival. Plus, what a woman is accused of doing to mothers on a popular Facebook site. The baby products she claimed to be selling. Tonight, the warrant for her arrest.